Well, good morning. Today we're going to have a press conference on our jobs bill, but first of all, I just want to talk a little bit about our Advancing Minnesota agenda, which is all about jobs and job creation and pro-growth in Minnesota. That isn't just the jobs bill, it's also our tax bill. There was different components in there that had an emphasis on helping the job creators grow. Our transportation bill also affects commerce and affects our jobs, ability to have jobs here. And so I'm very excited that today then we're talking about our actual jobs bill, because there's a number of components in here that are really good for all of Minnesota. I've got Senator Jeremy Miller here to begin this, and then, is that your name? Jeremy Miller?
Jerry Miller's a former mayor of Winona. Yeah. He appreciates the credit, too.
So Senator Jeremy Miller to kick this off, and then we'll have a number of our senators talk about components in it, but I'm very excited about what we're focusing on here today.
That's right, Mr. Majority Leader. All the good things I know I learned from my father, so he would appreciate that. Good morning, everyone. Today we're rolling out our Jobs and Economic Growth budget bill. This budget puts a strong emphasis on public-private partnerships that promote job growth, as well as economic and workforce development opportunities throughout the state of Minnesota. We do this by providing additional resources to the Job Creation Fund, Minnesota Investment Fund, and the Redevelopment Grant Program. We also make additional investments to workforce housing grants and the Job Skills Partnership Program. This is a program where employers work together with higher education institutions to provide training and retraining opportunities for workers. Additionally, we invest $20 million in the border-to-border broadband program and increase base funding to the Extended Employment Program. This is a program that provides employment opportunities for people with disabilities. This bill truly was a bipartisan effort to help businesses grow and to help communities prosper. And we have some members here to talk about some different portions of the bill that we're rolling out.
Senator Karin Housley. Also in this bill is a $2 million grant to Pillsbury United. It is to build a grocery store health market called North Market on 44th Street and Humboldt Avenue in North Minneapolis. It will be a full-service grocery store offering fresh and affordable food products to the neighborhood, but it'll also be more than just a store. It'll also be economic boost to the neighborhood, providing good jobs for women, the people in the neighborhood, and also a resource to go for health and wellness activities at the market. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon. I'm Senator Mike Hagen. I'm happy to announce that part of the bill includes my Helmets to Hard Hats initiative, which is for all of our veterans that are out there and returning vets from being deployed. Will have the opportunity to enroll in the trades organizations and utilize the skills that they received in the military and bring those out into the job market in the skilled trades. So I look very forward to helping our veterans move forward from the military into the private life.
Senator Mark Johnson. So one of the things that I'm very excited about in this bill is help up to Northwest Minnesota. We have a company up there that's expanding. It's going to provide over 1,000 new jobs up in that area. This bill provides some support for the growth and expansion of Digikey. And I'd just like to thank Senator Miller for the effort that he's put into this bill. We're really going to be advancing Minnesota's economy.
Thank you, Senator Paul Anderson. And part of the pro-growth jobs plan, I'm very excited to work with Senator Miller and the Majority Leader and our members of the caucus, the Jobs and Economic Growth Policy and Finance Committee, is the Youth Skills Training Program, which you talk to any industry and you're seeing workforce shortages. And with regards to the skilled workforce and also manufacturing, we have a real shortage. And one of the areas that we can focus on as a partnership, I think of it as the modernization of VOTEC when I grew up. So you're talking about a partnership between schools and businesses that will help train students as they're going through high school and be ready for those jobs when they come time to graduate. Thank you.
So as you can see, we put a strong emphasis on public-private partnerships throughout the state of Minnesota. We want to work together with our communities and the companies in the state of Minnesota to promote job growth as well as economic and workforce development opportunities throughout the state of Minnesota. And I'm very happy with the bipartisan product that we put forward. And at this point, I think we're happy to answer any questions if anyone has any.
The broadband number is a lot lower than many people had requested. And if you're lowering the match, that means that money would go to, I assume, to fewer projects. Why did you pick the, I think it's 20 million?
Sure. So given our target that we had to work with, we had to prioritize. We did prioritize broadband. It's an initiative of our caucus, and we're going to continue to focus on investments in broadband. I think $20 million was a strong number to come out of the gate with, and hopefully we can work together and try to find some more resources for broadband. The reason why we lowered the match for the unserved communities is because we wanted to prioritize those communities in rural Minnesota that don't have access to broadband, and oftentimes they can't afford the 50% match. It's not economically feasible for them to come up with that match, so we wanted to lower that threshold a little bit more to prioritize rural areas in greater Minnesota.
So how many communities do you think this would serve?
I don't have the numbers in front of me on how many communities it will serve, but again, by lowering that threshold, it's a stronger focus and a priority on smaller rural communities throughout the state.
Would, and last one on broadband, would the rural areas be able to handle more of that, or is 20 million the most they could really take on in the next couple of years?
The capacity, I believe the capacity is there to do more, and I'm going to continue working with Majority Leader Gazelka and our Finance Chair, Senator Rosen, and others to try to find some additional funding for broadband.
So you want to be successful?
Yes.
Stay tuned.
Question about the appropriation for Digikey. How much are you seeking there, and why does a successful company like Digikey need state help?
Well, thank you. Yeah, I didn't get much of a chance to address that. That's my first conference, so I'm still shaking up here, but no, I appreciate the question. Digikey is a great company. It's had wonderful growth over the past few years, but the problem up there in northwest Minnesota is we're really lacking infrastructure. We're lacking a tax climate that is conducive for companies to grow and stay in Minnesota. So that's a big issue there. We're also having issues with workforce housing. So there's a number of things that we need to be doing here at the state legislature to really help these small communities. It's a town of 8,500 people, and we're looking to increase the hire rate to 1,000 folks. It's kind of it's a big deal for my area. So we're trying to incentivize Digikey, not only just the company itself, but also the community around it, and building up how do we get those assets in place that would actually foster growth there. So what we're doing there's a couple of deed projects that are involved. The money's already in the base funding for deed, but it's just legislation that's opening up the caps on those to allow this size of project. I think infrastructure-wise, we have $1.6 million for the city itself. There's also some tax incentives that are around that $40 million neck of the woods, but all of that is stuff that we're working with in the base budget themselves. So that would be some sales tax forgiveness, but we're really excited about this. It looks like it's something that we're going to be able to make happen.
And how much had you sought to begin with?
Roughly those numbers.
40 million, you say, for that? Is that a statewide program at that price?
I'm sorry?
You said 40 million. That's not for
Correct.
one company, right? Is that the workforce housing?
Go ahead now.
Oh, sure. This would just help with some of the construction costs that are around the facility. I mean, we're looking at a $300 million investment in a city that's 8,500 folks. So
what we're going to do specifically is some of the MIF funds, the Minnesota Investment Fund, will go toward this project as well as the business development, some of the business development infrastructure grants for the city. We're talking about a $1 million square foot expansion. This is a company, after hearing testimony, that logistically, Minnesota is probably not the best state for them to be doing business in, especially northwestern Minnesota. Logistically, it doesn't make sense for them. But it's a Minnesota-based company. They have a strong belief in doing business here in Minnesota, and this is one of our examples of a strong public-private partnership to keep Digikey here in the state of Minnesota, economic development opportunities for northwestern Minnesota, jobs for northwestern Minnesota. That doesn't even include a lot of their subcontractors throughout the state of Minnesota, and the North Market that Senator Housley talked about is another good example of a public-private partnership that's going to really spur economic development and workforce opportunities in an area that needs it very much.
So we looked at that bill in tax committee as well, and they have 3,500 employees right now. In the next 10 years, their plan is to add another 1,000 employees. So we also looked at some sales tax exemptions related to the construction, similar to what we did for the Destination Medical Center down in Rochester. So very excited. It's not just about Thief River Falls. It's about towns like Crookston and Grigla and places around there that they will also have people that are going to be employed there. So very, very good program.
How much money will be coming back to the state and local communities because of this expansion? In other words, how soon is the payback?
I don't have it on me. I'm good, but not that good.
Does anybody? Does
Yeah, I think
Senator
Roger,
Johnson?
Senator Chamberlain should have that. We did hear it in committee, and they gave him those numbers.
The release talks about eliminating direct appropriations in favor of competitive grants. Could you talk about that philosophy, and also how does this Digikey fit into that philosophy? That sounds like a direct appropriation.
Sure. So what we're doing for fiscal year 18 and 19 is we're maintaining the commitments that we made for the direct appropriations. This is in the workforce development funds as well as the other direct pass-through appropriations to individual organizations throughout the state of Minnesota. I would argue that these are all great organizations, but we just want to hold those organizations accountable. So we moved to more of a competitive grant process. And then we want those pass-through organizations, if they've received funding in the past from the state of Minnesota, we want to see them back in the committee to show us what they're doing, to show us what kind of results that they're getting. Again, these are all fantastic organizations. We just want to hear back from them, and we want to make sure that we are holding them accountable for receiving taxpayer dollars. We're also moving to the competitive grants. Any organization that's received funding through direct appropriations will also be eligible to go through those competitive grants.
Does that refer to those organizations that last year were part of the racial equity package?
It's those folks as well as folks that received direct appropriations through the Workforce Development Fund.
All right. Well, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Good day.